Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the very basics of IELTS exam. So before we start, let me tell you that this video is for the beginners. Today, we're going to focus on the format and structure of this exam. So to start with, there are two modules of this exam. You have the IELTS Academic and IELTS General Training. The academic module is for the candidates who want to move abroad for higher education, maybe for graduation or post-graduation, where English is the primary language of instruction. This test basically ensures if you're able to understand the lectures and different study materials available in English language. So if you're planning to study abroad, this module is for you. Now, the other module, which is IELTS General Training, is for the people who are looking for a permanent residence or work permit to any of these English-speaking country LOs. As per your requirement, you can choose either of these two modules. Both of these modules are conducted in 4 parts: speaking, listening, writing, and reading. Now, what is the difference between these two modules? Speaking and listening test of both the modules is same, but there are some difference in IELTS reading and writing test. We are going to talk about these differences as we proceed further. Now let's try to understand what actually happens in speaking test. Speaking test is a face-to-face interview with an examiner, and the test is divided into 3 parts. In part 1, examiner will introduce themselves and ask you for your name, the valid passport that you have used to register for the exam. Then examiner is going to ask you some questions about your personal life related to your studies, work, or hobbies. These questions are very general and easy to answer. I'd advise you to start observing the things related to your personal life and practice answering these questions. These questions are like, do you live in a house or an apartment? What do you like to do in your free time? And if you're a working professional, the examiner can ask you about your responsibilities at workplace. So basically, these questions are very easy to answer. And the whole purpose of this part is to make you comfortable. Then comes the part 2. In this part, examiner will give you a cue card with a topic, as you can see in video. Topic: describe a beautiful city you know. You should say where the city is, how you knew the city, what buildings the city has, what it is famous for, and explain why you think this city is beautiful. And along with the topic, examiner will give you a notepad and a pen. Then, you'd be given 1 minute to prepare and make notes and speak uninterrupted on the topic for up to 2 minutes. The examiners are looking for the candidates who can communicate effectively in English, who can express themselves fluently. They like the people who is using a wide range of vocabulary, idioms, different grammatical structures, and pronouncing the words correctly. It's important to practice answering these cue card topics. Get familiar with the kind of vocabulary you can use in answering such topics. If you're not a native speaker and haven't practiced, 2 minutes might sound like never-ending process. So do practice a lot before appearing for the speaking test. One advice that I would give: that do not burden up yourselves with the accuracy of details you're providing, as they are not concerned about it, as long as you're able to express yourselves fluently. In part 3 of the IELTS speaking test, the examiner will ask you some follow-up questions related to the topic you have discussed in part 2. These questions are comparatively complex in nature, so pay attention to examiner, understand the idea being discussed in question. These questions are like, how do you think cities will change in the future? What measures do you think could be taken to reduce traffic congestion in cities? While answering the question, support your ideas with relevant examples or personal experiences. This reflects that you can apply your knowledge to real-life situations. To make your stance clear, use phrases like, in my opinion, I believe that, or from my perspective. There might be a situation that you're not familiar with the topic that is being discussed in question. Do not hesitate. Take a few seconds to develop the idea and then express. There is no harm in holding up for a few seconds, but there are high chances that you will end up losing scores if you rush and present a grammatically incorrect sentence. So, this was all about the IELTS speaking test on high level. This test will last about 14 to 17 minutes. Watch out our next part of the video where I explain you about the IELTS listening test.